RJ, and we're glad you're here today.
Awesome, guys. Whether you're listening to your drive work, or folding laundry, walking the dog, or doing whatever you like to do on a Sunday morning, you're trying to fit in a few minutes here while the kids still wake up. Thanks for spending time with us today. Today's episode tackles a topic that can feel kind of heavy, but it's one every parent should understand. How do you recognize depression in kids? Not because we want parents walking around assuming every mood has a depression, but because sometimes the signs are easy to miss.
Exactly, Curtis. When most people picture depression, they imagine someone crying all day and looking obviously sad, right? But kids
Yep.
often don't read from that script, right?
hmm
Sometimes depression looks like anger, sometimes laziness,
Yep.
sometimes it looks like just typical teenage behavior. And that's why we're talking about this today.
That's right. So today's question comes from a listener, Melissa. She writes in and says, my 12-year-old has become really withdrawn over the last couple of months. She spends most of the time in her bedroom, doesn't seem interested in seeing friends anymore. And every conversation turns into one word answer. Is this just middle school or should I be worried? Well, thank you, Melissa, for that question. It probably represents hundreds of parents that may be listening today, but because every parent eventually wonders, is this normal or is it something deeper going on?
Yeah, let's start there, Curtis. Um,
Yep,
every kid has their rough patches, right? They bomb a math test, their
yep,
best friend ignores them, their hockey team loses, someone says something hurtful, they're going to be upset, right? That's life.
yep,
Depression, though, is quite different. It's not
right.
one bad day, it's usually a pattern. It's when
Uh-huh.
your child, their emotional weather changes and then stays stormy.
Yep. I like that image, RJ. It's pretty cool looking. Well, I guess it's upsetting sometimes, but we're looking for that one. We're not looking for one rainy afternoon. We're looking at weeks where the sun never seems to come out. A friend. So here's the story. A friend of mine once told me his son. He said he's 13. He's grumpy all the time. I figured it was teenagers, right? Then one
Yeah.
weekend, his son didn't want to go fishing, which was odd because he likes fishing so much. Now, here's the thing fishing was their thing. Every Saturday, rain or shine, his dad asked, you feeling okay? His son would shrug, I just don't care anymore. That sentence hit him
Mhm.
like a truck. It wasn't about fishing, it was about losing joy. That's one of the biggest warning signs.
Yeah, that story kind of sticks with me, right? Because
Yeah,
every kid changes hobbies.
yep,
That's a normal thing. But depression doesn't just steal one activity, right? It steals the excitement, it steals their motivation, and often it steals the ability to look forward to tomorrow.
yeah, that's right, RJ. So parents know their kids pretty good, right? So we know their laugh, we know their personality, we know when something feels off. Maybe your child used to tell you everything. Now every answer is fine, which we covered before.
Hmm.
I don't know, whatever, those type of things, right? Maybe maybe they're snapping at everyone. The dog, their brother or sister, you, even themselves.
Hmm. Yeah, here's where parents sometimes get stuck, right? We start
Uh-huh.
asking ourselves, what's wrong with you? That question usually shuts down conversation. Instead, try and
Yeah.
saying, I've noticed you haven't seen yourself lately, right? That's very different. You're describing what you've noticed, not accusing them of anything, and then follow it with, look, I'm here to talk with you if you want,
Yep.
right? No pressure, no interrogation, just an open door and an open invitation.
That's right, RJ. That's always the best way. Nice and relaxed about it, right? Nothing like too hyped up. So let's talk about school now, RJ. Parents often notice grades dropping and assume they're just not trying. Sometimes, but sometimes they're trying incredible hard just to get through the day. Imagine trying to solve algebra while your brain is completely telling you, I'm worthless. No one likes me. I'm going to fail anyway. That could be quite exhausting, eh?
Yeah. Um, and teachers often don't see this, or they often can see this before parents do, right?
Yep.
Like, and if a teacher says to you, they just don't seem like themselves. Take that seriously. Teachers aren't diagnosing depression, but they're noticing those patterns, right? And they spend
Yep.
hours every day with our kids.
That's right, RJ. So let's talk about bedrooms now because every teenager seems to live in one, right?
Hmm. Yep. It's practically their mailing address, right?
Exactly. It's what I'm going with right now. My daughter loves to stay in a room. So they want privacy. That's normal. Living isolation. That's a little different. If your child
Hmm.
spends all day alone, stop seeing friends, stop joining family dinner, stops laughing. Those are puzzle pieces of a puzzle. One piece doesn't tell the whole story. Several pieces together deserves attention.
Hmm. Here's something parents don't always connect, right?
Yep.
Depression doesn't only affect emotions. Sometimes it shows up physically. Headaches, stomach
Yep.
aches, being
Yep.
tired all the time, feeling sick every Sunday night, especially before school,
Yep.
right? Kids don't always have the words to say, I'm emotionally overwhelmed. So their body speaks for them.
Yeah, that's true. And if the doctor rules out physical illness, don't assume they're making it up. The pain is real. The source may be simply be emotional instead of physical, which we don't always
Mhm.
see very well, right?
Yeah, true. And then so here's something worth remembering. Adults struggle to explain depression, right?
Yep.
Imagine asking a 10-year-old to explain it.
Yep.
Sometimes they don't know what's wrong, right? They
Hmm.
just know I don't feel like me. That's why
Yep.
parents need to become curious instead of critical, right? Instead of why are you acting like this? Try what has life been feeling like lately?
Yep.
These are much easier questions to answer.
Yeah, for sure, Jay. So, can we cover a few things parents say with the best intentions? Because we've all said them, right?
Absolutely 100%. If your child says, I'm sad all the time, avoid saying, other kids have it worse, or snap out of it, or
Yep.
you've got nothing to be depressed about. These responses usually come from wanting to help. You want to make
Yep.
your child feel better. You want to put them in better spirits, but they can actually make that child feel misunderstood.
Yeah, for sure, Jay. Instead, try something like this. Say, thanks for telling me. That sounds really hard. I'm glad you trusted me enough to share that. Those simple phrases tell your child, I'm listening to you and I am with you.
Hmm. So let's make this practical, right? If you're concerned, here are a few things that you can do this week. First, slow down. And I'm guilty of this one too. I'm still always kind of in hyper mode when I do things, right? So
Uh-huh.
slow down. It's, a difficult task, but that's the first task. Instead of squeezing conversations before homework and bedtime, take a walk, go for a
Yep.
drive. We've had this, discussion on this show before. It's that
Yep.
face to face that kills the conversation. But when you're
Yep.
walking with each other or in the car together, you're not face to face, right? Shoot
That's right.
hoops, play a game, get some sort of distraction going on.
Yep.
Sometimes kids talk more when they're not forced to make eye contact.
Yep. That's true, RJ. Good stuff. Thanks. So, second, watch for patterns. One bad day isn't the issue. 2 or 3 weeks of noticeable changes, that is something worth exploring for sure. Third, ask for help early. You don't get bonus parenting points for waiting until things get worse. Talk to your family doctor, reach out to your child's school, connect with a licensed mental health professional if needed. Get support early is a sign of strength, not failure. So
Hmm.
let's do some final thought here. Before we wrap up here, RJ, I wanted every parent listening to this to hear if your child is struggling with depression, this is not about blame. It doesn't automatically mean you missed something, it doesn't automatically mean you failed. Sometimes kids experience challenges that even the most loving, attentive parent couldn't have prevented. What matters is how you respond. Stay present, stay curious, keep reminding your children that you're on their team.
Hmm. And remember, your child doesn't need a perfect parent, right? They need a safe one,
Yep.
someone who listens, someone who notices, someone who keeps showing up even on those hard days.
That's right, RJ. If you guys want to be able to answer more questions, just go to the parentsupportcircle.com and 25 questions page. You can check that out. It'll help you with asking questions with your kids. All right. So if today's conversations has helped you, we'd love to share. We'd love you to share this episode with another parent. You never know who might need to hear that they're not alone in this situation. And if this episode sparks questions or reminds you of a challenge you're facing at home, we'd love to hear from you as well. Send us your
Mm.
questions. Just go to parentsupportcircle.com. And you can go there, or the email is in the contact page. They could become a topic or a future episode, and chances are another parent is wanting the exact same thing. If you're looking for practical tools, just go to Parent Support Circle. We have a couple of tools there for you. You have to join up on the group there, and we can help you out if we can. I'm trying to build up a safe place for parents can learn and grow and support each other because none of us want to be in this alone. Until next time, keep showing up, keep listening, and remember, every small moment of connection can make a lifelong difference.
Yeah. Take care, parents, and we'll see you in the next episode.
All right, bye.